My name is Maureen Curley, and I live in San Diego, and I would like to tell you what happened to my son.
Please.
I will probably have to read some of this. Okay. On February 2nd, 2012, my son, Ty Thomasson, was working for Yelp. He went to a trampoline park located in Phoenix, Arizona. He was the one that orchestrated it as a team-building event. Prior to this, he had told me about this park because he had gone online to read about it. He was 30 years old. Thank you. He was 30 years old, and he had a very bright future ahead of him. I would like to read you what the web page advertisement says. Do you like performing extreme aerial moves? Whether you are trying out a new backflip or performing a 720 front flip, our foam pit will allow you to explore your aerial creativity in a soft, safe environment. Ty was there for less than an hour when he did a half gainer into the middle of the foam pit. He landed exactly in the middle of this foam pit. He did nothing crazy. He tucked his head and he went through the foam pit like butter. A majority of the employees that were working at the trampoline park were less than 18 years old. They had no CPR. They had no emergency procedure in place. The individual who called 911 was was an employee of Yelp. His team leader was in front of him, and she asked the patron, she asked the employee, was there anything that they were not allowed to do? And she said no. When I arrived at the hospital, I was met by the trauma doctor, and he told me to be prepared for a bad outcome. Ty broke his neck in 5 places. When the fire department arrived, they were unable to get him out of the foam pit, so they had to remove the foam. He went without oxygen somewhere between 18 and 18 minutes. Within 24 hours of being at the hospital, we were asked a question that no one here would ever want to be asked about a child. Did your son want to be a donor? My son passed away February 5th. We soon found out that week that the foam pit where Ty met his tragic death was only 2 feet 7 inches deep. The materials that they used to construct the foam pit were of poor quality. I visited an overwhelming amount of trampoline parks. A majority of them had pits less than 3 feet. When I asked the employees that were watching the patrons jump if they knew the depth of the pit, none of them knew it. There were no signs posted to let anybody know the depth of these foam pits. We do not let our children jump into a pool that is a play pool that is completely black and they cannot see the bottom of it from a diving board. Why is this allowed at a trampoline park? I am dumbfounded that anybody would build a foam pit less than 3 feet. You can Google right now, how deep do you build a foam pit? The first page will come up and every site tells you minimum 6 feet. Why do the owners not build it? Is it cost effective? I am sure there's going to be companies that will come out and say that they can help with the construction and the design and the management of their safety, and that is great. But who is going to regulate them? Who will make the owners accountable? to implement the knowledge. Obviously, they don't even Google this. ASTM has come out, or will be coming out, with guidelines. But once again, who's going to make them follow these guidelines? I have been a small business owner, and I am all for fair enterprise. But my son did not have a price for his life. I am not for owners to be able to make a profit cutting costs. Why is there no regulation? The mere fact that the waivers say that you could be critically injured, paralyzed, or even die tells you that the parks are aware of this. They say jump within your ability. What is your ability? My son was an excellent athlete. He played football at ASU. You have no control on how you're going to jump up, the angle you're going to come down, or the velocity that you will hit. I am not here today to try to abolish trampolines. I am pleading with the state of California to please be the leaders in the industry and save and protect our children. My son Ty should not have died. We have an obligation to protect our children. This is not a state problem. This is a national problem. It's not a question of if. It will happen again. But this bill will help reduce the risk. Next time someone goes to a trampoline park, let there be a sticker that shows that they are in compliance with OSHA. Let the parents know that they have followed the guidelines and they have the construction and the material and the safety in place. Let trampoline parks all play by the same rules. Let them be on the same playing ground. It is too late for my son. He will not be here for my daughter's upcoming wedding. He will not see the birth of his other sister's child. I will never hold him in my arms again or listen to the laughter of his children. But hopefully, by passing this bill, you will protect your son, your daughter, your grandchildren, or someone you love. They deserve it. So I stand behind this bill, and I ask you to please educate the public and let them know that waivers, LLCs, cannot protect owners. And I honestly believe owners would want this. I believe in the good of mankind. I believe they want to do the right thing. I believe that they would be proud to say that their park meets the standards and that they are doing everything that they can to protect our children. I want to thank you for listening and giving me the chance to help my son and help your children. Thank you.